Hello, welcome everybody. We are excited tonight. We have a very special guest on our team Zoom call, Aimée Darling. She is an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. She is also a master nutrition therapist, and I know everybody is familiar with her videos. I send everybody to her videos when I'm doing my training. I love all of her product videos. So we're going to talk tonight about our products and weight management, and we are going to let Aimée take it away.
Hey, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you so much. And all of you that are already on the webinar tonight, and those of you that will watch it in the future, I'm super excited for the opportunity to talk about this subject because weight management can be touchy. And so I do appreciate the opportunity to talk about my personal experience with not only the Plexus product line, but just health in general. And then about a year ago, I actually asked on a Facebook group all the questions that people would have that they would want videos about. And there were about 20 questions about weight management and how long does it take and things like that. So if you can all bear with me, I'm going to look at my notes off and on so that way I make sure that I stay on track and that I don't get excited and sidetracked and start flinging my fingers around and it'll be crazy. And so I do love this subject because there's such an emotional component to weight management, and it's just crazy. So I want to jump in and just say anything that I say, we're not trying to tell you that our products are going to heal or cause things to happen that, we're not saying that. Plexus isn't liable for that, neither are any of us. And so I want to first off remind everybody, your body is amazing. And it depends on how long you have been treating it poorly, whether you know it or you don't know it. We don't know how long. And so depending upon what you're struggling with, it could be, a good year before you start to see your body start to shed the pounds that it doesn't need or what isn't supposed to have. And so I know that none of us love to hear that. We live in a society where we think we can just lose 20 pounds by Friday and that we're going to go on some detox or we're going to drink some nasty shake or, we're going to basically eat turnip greens for the next 30 days. Yes, those are effective. They're effective. Anytime you cause the body to not get what it needs, it will shed weight, okay? But remember that what is our goal? Our goal in general life, it's long-term health. And weight is an indicator, whether you're underweight or you're overweight, is an indicator of an imbalance. And so what I love is that I've been in practice for going on a little over 8 years. And like Rebecca said, I'm a master nutrition therapist. So I have a background in holistic nutrition. What also is crazy is that because my husband's job has moved us a lot, I've had the privilege of working in different environments and with different doctors and surgeons and naturopaths and all those things. And so I've been gathering information forever. But there's a lot of things that we think are going to help us balance our weight that really just aren't. And then there's things that we're just doing wrong. And so I want to go through and address a couple quick questions on the Plexus side first, if you all will give me a second. One of the things that I'm often asked is once I start using the product and I lose the weight that I want to lose or I achieve the weight that I want to gain, will I have to take the product forever? I'm often asked that question. And I know you all are asked that too. No, we do know people that have started with the product and they get to where they need to be in balance. Their body has either gained or shed, depending upon what their goal is, and then they stop using the Slim. And that's 100% okay. However, there are long-term benefits to staying balanced beyond just weight. And Rebecca and I were kind of laughing about age earlier, but the longer that I've used Slim, the younger I am appearing, braces excluded. And that is because the way your sugar affects your skin. Sugar ages you. And if your body is super balanced and your blood sugar is super balanced, I have never seen anyone be able to do that with just diet and exercise alone. Are you going to have to get your diet under control in order to lose or gain weight? You bet. Are you going to have to get your exercise consistent? Absolutely. However, when you're using a product like Plexus Slim, and of course addressing the different components that are required, are you going to have to take it forever? No. You're not. but understand that there's additional benefit. Okay. The other thing someone asked me was, how long will it take? So let me talk about a list of things that I have written down and that I've gathered information about, of the reasons why people don't lose weight. Okay. So let's back up. You have two different type of people that kind of gravitate towards plexus. You have the people that are super healthy, and they appreciate the blood sugar balancing effects, and they appreciate that from their head to their toe, and their behavior and their autoimmune health and their immune health rather, all of those things are related to sugar, and they're related to sugars and the way that our body keeps processing. So everything is related to that. So those people are super healthy. They can appreciate the power of balancing their sugars. They can appreciate the power of getting their gastrointestinal health under control, and they can appreciate anti-inflammation. Those people see pretty quick changes. They're already on the health journey, okay? They just need fine tuning. They just need tweaking. And we start to see those people lose 3, 4, 5 pounds pretty quickly, okay? People like me, now I will use myself as an example. I was a person that was not super, super healthy for the bulk of my life. And I was telling Rebecca earlier, I'm 44 years old. I have been a sugar and junk food, fast food addict for almost my entire life. And then Plexus came along, and I'm a nutritionist. So for about the last 8 years, I've made better choices. I've had to make myself make better choices because I know better in my mind. And I talk about it when people in my clinic all day long. So what happens then with Plexus? Well, when I started, I lost about 8 pounds really fast the first week. That's not normal, right? Well, then I gained back 5 pounds the very next couple weeks. So some people, they're wimps and they'll quit. They'll say, I gained weight back. Well, think about it like one of those little cars, right? Sometimes your body reacts quickly and it's like, I'm balanced. I shed some pounds and some inches, and it's very exciting. But it's like that little children's car that kind of rolls backwards first, and then you let it go, and then it zooms forward. So for the first 6 months, my body was balancing, and it was also healing, because your fat layer is a place for toxins. So what you want to remember when a person starts with slim, or they even start like some super clean, ultra balancing diet that, includes juicing and, real strict and lots of good fats and proteins and fiber, it's similar. But what Plexus gives us an advantage of is it gives us the advantage of helping us chemically balance insulin faster, so that we want to make quality choices and that we want to get out and exercise, because our energy is increasing by naturally creating a good base of insulin balance. Okay. That affects the way we think, act, sleep, aging, everything in between. If we're not craving the junk, we're not feeding the yeast problems that most people tend to have with yeasts or funguses, those things, we add on top of that some good BioCleanse. That's pulling out all the toxins. It's giving you good magnesium. It's helping you stay alkaline. And then, of course, feeding the gastrointestinal tract with that ProBio 5. All of those things, the reasons we're seeing those changes happen is because we've layered those things into our body, okay? So what stops a person? Well, a huge component of it is mental.
Throw up on it from Kinsley.
We often have this idea, and I hear this all the time, I lose 8 pounds and then I plateau. Okay, well, you just told yourself that that's what's going to happen. So mental is a big part of it. Are you, and is the person you're working with in it for the long haul? And I know we're always going to have that good group of people. I loved that I was losing weight. It was wonderful. It was nice to go from a 16 down to a 4. That's exciting. However, the first week I lost all the weight, then the second week I gained it all back. But what was happening? My sugars were balancing. I felt better. My energy was better. My moods were better. My cravings were going down. But I was having detox problems. I mean, I was having different issues that my body was trying to get rid of 35 plus years of sugar addiction and chemicals in my fat layer. So understand that when a person's kind of hitting plateaus or they're not losing weight, there's other components. So mental is one of them. Another component is stress. A lot of people have real high stress jobs, or they're a high stress person. They themselves have that mind that's constantly running, and it's creating a flight or fight in their body, and they're not losing weight because they're just so like a cheetah's chasing them, and they just can't calm down. That stress raises cortisol. When cortisol goes up, sleep goes down, your body doesn't repair. No, you don't lose weight. And so think about the things that cause big cortisol rises. We all know my story. I moved, I got really super stressed, I got totally depressed, and then what happened? I started gaining weight. So then I couldn't lose the weight because I was so internally stressed. So moving, deaths, births, weddings, anything that are big stressors in your life, those will stop weight loss, okay? Cortisol rising will stop weight loss. And you could have been on some wonderful track, and then all of a sudden you stall, okay? Now, another component of that is the blood sugar. If your sugars aren't balanced, you don't lose belly or thigh fat. Blood sugar balance is key. Can you do it with diet? Absolutely. It's going to be higher proteins, higher fats, having enough food, but not too much. It's the quality more than the quantity of what you're eating. You're most likely eating more carbohydrate than you're using. So if you're not watching what you're eating, then you're not going to get to where you need to be with your weight for a natural, healthy, where should you be weight. And you could be using Slim and it'll be helping you with those things. But if your stress is out of control and you're not sleeping, that's going to be an issue. Okay. Now think about the people in my area. We have a lot of loggers. So we live in Oregon currently, and they get up at the crack of dawn and their sleep is disrupted. When we used to live in Nevada and Colorado, they were miners and they would work weird hours or they would work at night. So you have normal rhythms that are disrupted. Those people have a hard time losing weight. Think about those people that are having that's constant flight or fight. So sleep. So you have to be asking people, do you sleep? Do you sleep more than 8 hours? Most people are getting by on 6, and that's it. And that's not healthy. That's when you repair both muscle from athletics and also muscle, or not muscle, but just the general body. Okay. So super important. The other thing to think about is, what are they eating? I would have people do a diet diary. Really get an app and see what a person's really eating. I know we all know those people. They do everything right. They're eating, okay. But at the end of the day, if they really tracked everything they snacked on, licked, kind of touched, maybe ate one of, it adds up all day long. And if you really looked at it, you most likely had like a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. Fine, good fiber. Way too much carb for probably what you're using. Okay, a lot less goes in that bowl. And then you're having a sandwich for lunch, but it was whole grain bread, but it had a lot of veggies. Again, fine, but still too much carbohydrate for what you're using. And then you come towards dinner, and then you have, this wonderful amount of whatever you're eating, but again, it's too much. And then you're starving by the time you eat dinner, and you're eating too fast. So you want to think about, what are you eating? Track it. If you're not tracking it, I'm less concerned about calories than I am concerned about content. If you're only eating 600 calories a day, you're not eating enough. And your brain needs more than that to survive. Your heart, the whole thing, okay? So think about what you're eating. Is it a ton of meat? When you're creating so much acidity in your body, again, your body is out of balance. It can't balance. If you're eating a ton of carb, you're not using it, the body stores it. It turns to sugar. The body stores unused sugar as fat. And so is it bad to eat fat? No. Stop that crazy thinking. You have got to eat fat. Let's just pick on ranch dressing, okay? Because everybody loves ranch dressing. If you're eating low fat ranch, your body was hardwired to want to eat things that have sugar content, fat content, and salt, because each system of your body relies on the electrolytes, the fat, the sugars, your brain. And so you want to have something that's full fat. Stop eating that low fat garbage because it will have high sugars. Okay. So even though you're eating organic, your body requires a level of fat. So you're not going to lose weight until you're eating enough fat. because the fat will actually, there's receptors in your stomach that are stretch receptors, and then they know, they're like, that person's had enough. That person has had enough fat. It keeps you satisfied longer. So write this stuff down, y'all. Start writing it down. What are you eating? Are you actually eating whole foods? So this brings me to my other soapbox. People don't lose weight that eat chemicals. They don't. So then they're drinking their Slim, they're getting their gastrointestinal tract, and they're doing their triplex, they've done all that, and yet they hit plateaus that they can't break. Take a look at what you're eating. Because if you're eating out of a box or you're eating at a restaurant, okay, you're getting sneaky calories and sneaky chemicals. But if your source of water and food has a chemical to it where you're getting xenoestrogens and all kinds of other little chemical problems, you're eating, yes, organic matters, you will have that sit in your fat, and then you'll have problems losing weight because it's disrupting your hormones. When your hormones are disrupted, you start having thyroid problems, you start having all these issues. So if you're really sitting at a plateau or you just can't kind of get a grip, look at what you're eating. So you might be eating something that's chemical laden. The other thing you could be eating is something that you don't process. And that could be a food allergy. I don't personally process cow dairy. I can't eat it. I can eat the right amount of calories for my body. I can eat all quality food, but if I eat dairy, cow dairy, I will not lose weight. I won't. I'll gain weight because for my body, it doesn't process it, okay? So not enough fat, super important. Write it down. What are you eating? And then along with that goes the vitamin D. It's kind of a sneaky one. Most people don't realize that vitamin D plays a part. But if you're not getting enough vitamin D, it's one of those other little ones that can be messing you up, right? And the best ever multivite antioxidant combo is Plexus. It's that amazing X factor because you're getting good antioxidants, which is keeping your chemicals, right? Keeping all your oxidation down, which is your body has one less thing to have problems with, and then it'll shed what it doesn't need. But it's also giving you absorbable vitamin D because of that aloe. And so you will start seeing people losing weight, and you'll start seeing people balancing the way they feel and their weight loss when they start seeing a better vitamin D. Another thing, not exercising. Really? Come on. You got to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, be upset, but you have to. Your job is to move your body. And when you start feeling better, you have to start moving your body. I don't care if it's just a walk, okay? Another thing that stops people from losing weight is skipping meals. Skipping meals is part of the grouping of problems that people have that develop blood sugar imbalances that cause them to have to take medications for it. Skipping meals. Stop it. Plan. You have to do those things. And then soda. Okay, no. You can't be drinking your calories like that. And diet soda wreaks such havoc on your body from a chemical standpoint that, like I already said, the chemical part is huge. If you're not addressing that, you're not going to get to the weight where your body needs to be. So I want you to think about your body like this. It has a balance that it needs to have, okay? And it needs a certain amount of food and water coming in, and it needs the ability to be clean, right? You're going to the bathroom consistently. You're not constipated. If you're having problems with all of those things, you will not lose weight. Your intestine can hold up to 30 pounds. Gross. That's gross. Okay. So if you're not going to the bathroom consistently, so I know one of you takes great notes, and you probably already wrote down the 12 different things I've said. There's like 11, 12 things, but you want to remember that from the top to the bottom, everything has to flow. Your blood's not sticky. Your intestines are clean. You're eating well. You're sleeping well. You've got great thoughts. You've got good connections to others. And all of those little things add up to major balancing, whether that's gaining weight or losing it, okay? Now, let's say you've been on this track for a while, and you've done all those things. You've done everything we've talked about, but you're still stuck. And I know many, many of you that are watching this webinar, you're already smart and you're already using Plexus. So you want to think about 3 different things, okay? One is I tend to take people and I ask them all those things. You know, tell me about sleep, tell me about food, tell me about all these things. Now, it's not our job because you just sell product. That's all you really do. You sell product. You don't have the, you're not supposed to be, advising people. However, you can help them troubleshoot and asking them these different things that I just laid out. The next thing you can look at is you can look at talking to them about when do you take your products, how much, how often, and are you consistent? And I'm telling you, for those of you that are on here that are like, well, I only take it when I feel like it. I went on vacation and stopped. You don't get to do that. You don't. You have to stay consistent. However, most of you, if you've been around for more than 6 months, you take your Slim every morning. That's great. And if you've got a magic formula for you, you have the right amount of ProBio 5, the right amount of Bio Cleanse, you're taking your X Factor, you're totally dialed in on the importance of Mega X, and you're totally on it. You're doing those things. Move your Slim. Move your Slim to right before lunch instead of breakfast, because your body gets very used to, not that you should stop taking it, but move it. This 30-day bag of Slim, I take it before breakfast. Next month's 30-day bag of Slim, I take it before lunch or dinner. It doesn't matter when, okay? And if you're going after fungus, you have to look at the power of giving the enzymes in your probiotic magnesium. It boosts them, okay? Now, your body is this amazing garden, and it needs a variety of good bacteria. And so for me personally, I take some probiotic in the morning because that's good garden enriching bacteria. And then I also take some at night with my magnesium, okay? Because that magnesium in that product that I'm using boosts that enzyme activity. And so for me personally, I have a sugar addiction history, and it's really super important that I'm going after my overgrowths and my cravings and that foggy brain that I had and all those other things that I had. And so if some people are taking 2 or 3 or 4, you want to look at split that and do part morning, part night. Okay. And so that's where I would say, shake up what you're doing, but don't be so crazy that you're chasing after 6 ideas at once. First thing look at is your water intake. Second thing look at is be true with your diet. Third thing looking at is your exercise. Yes, your sleep. You have to look at these things in layers, because if you run out and make all these changes in 24 hours, you have no idea what you needed to do. And your body ebbs and flows. In the wintertime, we don't tend to lose a lot of weight, y'all. Sorry, it's a holding time of year. In the spring, in about a month, you'll see me launch a cleanse. That's a good time. Spring and fall. So sometimes you're fighting against things that your body naturally isn't going to do. Now, let me just end with this, okay? The first year, I lost 8 pounds in the first week, and then I regained back 5. And then I didn't lose another pound for 6 months. And for the first 4 months, I was on Slim only. I didn't understand the power of our triplex until like this last year. And then that last 6 months of the year, I lost 22 pounds. Boom, 22 pounds. I went from a 16 to a 14 to a 12 to a 10. Your body takes about 6-ish months to rotate the cells in the body, okay? Up to a year if we're talking about bone. So you want to give your body time, and you have to be honest. Was I working out those first 6 months? Nope. It was around the 6-month mark that my husband said to me, I'm glad you feel better, and I'm glad you're nicer, and I'm glad your hormones are better, but now you're starting to kind of drop weight, and you're kind of like skinny, but there's no muscle. And so we started working out. Muscle burns more fat. So I literally dropped 22 pounds the next 6 months. The second year with Plexus, my exercise was the same. My diet was the same. It's not stellar. It's like 90%. And then to end that idea is then I went from a 12 to a 10 to an 8 to a 6 to a 4 in the second year. And I lost no weight the second year. Now here we are. I'm moving into year 3. It'll be 3 years in May that I've been using our products. And I've lost no additional weight. I've maintained a size 4. I've started exercising consistently. My crow's feet have gone away. My sleep has improved. I'm dreaming. My sleep is so good. But nothing has gone backwards. And that's where I give you hope. Because in the 10-ish years that I've been in practice, I know one person who has stayed the health course with diet and exercise alone over all that time. And I look around the Plexus world, and we've got year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5 stories. And so yes, it's powerful, and yes, it's a tool, and it's an edge, but you got to look at the rest, and you got to start shaking things up if you really want to start looking at breaking plateaus. That's all I got, Rebecca. I got nothing.
No, you got lots of good information. That was wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. Okay, thank you, but everybody stay on for just a minute. And you too, Aimee, okay?